black and white, direct overhead, gang stalking for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube here in Los Angeles. If you can believe it, I uploaded reptilian shapeshifter movies, and have this continuous psychological warfare of police helicopters, which you pay in your taxes for, to buzz me day and night as a psychological warfare. I really appreciate when people contact me, because, for instance, I just got an email from somebody yesterday, and it was kind of nice to have a confirmation about some of the stuff that I was talking about. You know, people saying, if a lot of people are offended about the thing about Trump being a serpent, whatever, don't take it too hard, because we know that a lot of Christians, they're missing the boat, and also, saying some things like that kind of gave me a reassurance about the churches. His experience with the churches. Oh yeah, he was saying that the churches, the pastor of this one church that he'd been going into was talking about the divine providence that saved Trump. Okay. Look, man, I guess I shouldn't laugh, but it's kind of funny, because I mean, dude. That's just so, that whole thing, man. Because if it's not divine providence when the whole thing was a hoax. He was never in any danger. It was part of the whole act. That whole thing, fight, fight, fight. That was so obvious, dude. I mean, and what that guy, A Call for an Uprising, said, it's scary, the lack of discernment. Oh boy. But I think, as I was saying to him also, I think it's a dividing line. It's a point at which, like, if at this stage, see, I think that also the pandemic was when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and then everyone was faced with a choice about what to do, and there was mandates and everything else. It was kind of a separating point, between those that knew by then what we're dealing with and those who didn't, and ignorantly went in and did what they told you. And now you do what they told you. And now you do what they told you. All right. So, and I think that this thing with the fake Trump assassination, completely obvious, is another dividing line, man. I mean, if you're sitting there thinking, oh yeah, it's all real, man, he's such a hero now. Oh, forget everything that happened during the pandemic. Forget it all, baby. Just... And that's perfect what he says. He warns about himself. He was this guy, A Call for an Uprising. Somebody else was talking about, oh, that guy's shame, boy, I shouldn't listen to him. Okay, but whatever else he may have gotten wrong, he's got this right. And that part about him reading that poem several times, about the little snake. The woman took the little snake, and then the serpent bites her, and she says, oh God, why? And the serpent says, shut up, stupid woman. You knew damn well that I was a snake before you took me in. It's Trump warning people about himself. It's so cool. I didn't figure that out. That guy figured it out. So, I know, guys, it's really shocking. This stuff. See, one thing that I'm learning too from listening to the interviewees on the Super Soldier Talk channel with James Rink, who loves me and he wants to be part of my team. He loves me so much, guys. As soon as he saw me log on to his live chat, he went... But on his channel, there's a lot of people that come on that have been in the 20 and backs, they wipe your memory. You serve for 20 years, they wipe your memory, put you back in your body, clone you or whatever. You get biffed. But they put you right back where you started. Your memory's wiped. Most of the time it sticks. A lot of times, like for instance with Jimmy Paine, it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. And that's how they can keep a lid on this whole thing. which is really, I think, see, and by the way, now it's just maybe it could just be my imagination, but I asked a question, one of the last questions I asked when I stayed on the forum. It was just about winding down, and I asked, the last question I asked was, Jimmy, can you confirm that that the ruling party is the reptilians, the Draco reptilians? And I got no answer. Okay, now I'm not making any claim, but I kind of got the feeling that both of them saw that, both James and Jimmy saw that, and they weren't going to answer it. I don't think they were going to answer it about the reptilians being the ruling party on this planet. Because I think what it is see, a lot of these they all kind of know. Like, see, I think once you're involved with this shit, like you're kind of involved in the satanic, you know, ring of duty, you know that you have to keep your mouth shut about it all, baby. I mean, at least certain things, you know, certain things, like for instance, you know, but I mean, a lot of things they are talking about. So I mean, this is, I haven't found, if you guys know, by the way, I did find a channel when I was uploading some footage of a movie I'm going to be uploading about that interview with, okay, I'm speaking as though I've already published that and you guys have already seen it. The interview with Jimmy Paine and James Rink about that lunar ship, that ship on the moon that's about 4 miles long. And I did run into a channel while I was looking for the footage of that. It looks like a Russian channel, Russian speaking channel, and it said that it had some cool footage, like some of the best footage I've seen of the Apollo 20 mission, which Jimmy Paine said he was on. Guys, I can't get over that, man. That's so cool. You know, it's amazing to me that a guy that had that many incredible adventures, he must be, you know, an interesting, dynamic, powerful person. But boy, he sure's got that slow southern drawl. You know, maybe it's just a style of speaking. You know, he's like, well, the thing about it was, it went, come to find out. The things that a lot of the people are talking about, these super soldiers and the horrors that they're encountering, I think are real. And that's what I would say to my friends who I would like, you know, those that, I mean, even have a chance, that acknowledge the name of Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, that they would not be ill-prepared, like, oh, shocked, oh my God, it's totally freaking out, because you're prepared for the fact that there are horrors like giant spiders eating people, okay, on Mars, and insectoids out there that, as Randy Kramer was putting it, if you ever get caught by them, you can get eaten alive, and it's no fun. And he got, you know, he lived to tell the tale because he's a super soldier, and he had those exoskeletal, you know, fighting suits and everything. But he says it was no fun fighting all those insects because they swarm you. You know, it's kind of like that movie Starship Troopers, you know, which I always thought was kind of interesting. But I think stuff like that is going on. It's a lot of stuff that we're seeing in the movies, guys. It's going on. I was just having the thought about creation, that the way you have to do it when you're God, and it probably was found through experimentation, or maybe you were just able to realize it first try. Who knows how many generations and worlds and realities have existed before this one. But people have to be created as, in larger part, as followers. You can't have, I mean, not everyone, of course. I mean, there's obviously going to be a lot of leaders too, but in large part, the vast majority of people are people who are looking to follow someone else. Now, you can be a leader and be a follower of someone else. I think that's the case with me. I know that God outranks me, right? So I follow him, but I'm also a leader. That's why even in this time when I think many of us don't have a voice, I think the man that's going to make it is the man that acknowledges that he has hope that he can get everything that he wants from the Lord, because the Lord made him to have his wants. So the Lord created him with things that he desired. Therefore, also, God will give him what he desires. It's God's good pleasure to make a person with desires, and then to give that person their desires. Got your fake news. Fake news. Get your fake news right here. Fake news propaganda. See, so it was a wake-up call for that friend who emailed me yesterday talking about his experience at a local church, where the church said the pastor was saying that it was a divine providence that Trump was protected from the shot, the fake shot, probably the shot that never was. And if you think about it, just, you know, for you folks who might still be on the fence whether or not that was a fake event, probably a lot of the people, if not all of them, in that shot were plants, were actors, because that whole thing would have to be under control. Probably when the woman screams, that was a plant. that was all part of the act. But it may not have been. I mean, probably some of those people were real. Maybe, I don't know. But you see, they have to have control over that whole situation in order for them to do what they did. See, Satan's very clever. By standardizing church doctrine, then people who really don't think deeply for themselves are fooled, or even intelligent people, and can't think for themselves, but they're just so inundated with similarity of what people are saying. That's why I say it, you got to have balls, because you have to be able to see, because it almost becomes unthinkable for the unballed, for the feckless, empty nutsacks that tend to be a lot of people out there, because it's an unthinkable thought to say, wait a minute, no, I'm going to go against that whole thing as being wrong, and I'm the one who's right, even though all those other people are agreeing to it. You know, that's part of the thing, and that's kind of what you have to be. That's why God has us in solitary places. But eventually, I believe that that those who are successful, okay, many are called to be Christians. Few of those Christians are chosen. If you're not chosen, you're not going to heaven. Okay? Sorry to say. You have to be chosen. That's why I continue to put an emphasis on standing out. You got to get God's attention. You got to do something bold. You got to do something that other people aren't doing. You got to show God that you really are inspired to make it in. Because after this life, we're still going to be conscious, whether you make it in or not. And those people that didn't do something bold for God while they lived are going to be thinking with great regret later on. This is important doctrine, friends. This is important. Because I think the average preachers, church leaders, authors, oh, the respected authors, they're so respected. They're not talking this. They're not saying that you've got to take a chance at being hated. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe some of them are. Actually, it's impossible to go to all the churches. You know, some of them out there might be true and honest. Somehow, I think that there is a matching correlation. It reminds me again of my initial conclusion that the brick and mortar churches of this current world, maybe not in the past, maybe not in the days of the apostles of the early church, and maybe for a few hundred years after that, but somehow now, I think the reason is that because Satan gets in. He gets into these institutions and the overall money system. That's why you could see it heading towards the one world order, one world government. You see, it's headed towards that, because his instinct, you know, it seems to me, is to gain absolute control, as much control. But he already has pretty good control now. See, the way I see it is, you can't have a brick and mortar institution, the amount of money that you need for a brick and mortar institution, and really be teaching against him and for Jesus Christ in life. that's where I see it. So when somebody tells me that, yeah, I just had an experience in church recently, and the guy was saying, yeah, Trump was saved by divine providence, as though he didn't even get that whole thing was obviously an act. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like I said, the thing with the people suing them, that's it's hard to tell because you can't see the lawsuits. You don't know what it's kind of, hard to think. All these people coming against him and the news speaking against him. All these people. And I'm sure that those people are moved by Satan to speak against him. Okay, because they can't all be. They're not intelligent enough to all be in on it. Maybe some of them way at the top. Who knows? Maybe Rachel Maddow is intelligent enough to be one of the insiders who actually know what's going on. But I seriously doubt it. So they're just pre-programmed to hate on Trump to make him look like the good cop. It's the good cop, bad cop. Okay, Democrats bad cop, Trump good cop. But they're all on the same team. He's on the same team as the people who want the fake meat, who want to take the farmland away. You think Bill Gates is really someone who's an enemy of Donald Trump? You think Donald Trump is really like, oh, that's all. See, that guy, A Call for an Uprising, he's one of the first people that I've heard it really express that clearly. That's why I was so impressed, because I had been, I'd been thinking that, I've been talking about it, how it's all just part of a bullshit act, but I wasn't really sure about Elon Musk until I saw this. And I definitely wasn't sure about RFK Jr. I really was thinking, maybe he really is an outsider. Nope, that fake phone call from Trump right there gives it away. You see, maybe that's, and it's so obvious, maybe that's the serpent saying, you see, this is the late stage. We have warned you, and we are karmically off the hook for doing this. And they understand, because they understand everything about magic and power and spirit and all that stuff, and they know that by and they know it's a real thing, that by letting their victims know what's going on with that obvious fake phone. You see RFK Jr. He's getting that so-called, whether that was really Trump or not, or whether, it doesn't matter. He's obviously in on it. Okay, that fake leak of that phone call, and then they delete that tweet. Right? Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So, friends, I just I hope my friends, and people who watch me, and if you like to watch, my vlogs here, my humble little vlogs, look, man, I just hope you're not fooled by this. I mean, I hate to say, like, all those people that were unsubscribed. Of course, just so you know, that's nothing new. I'm not beleaguered or worried about that whatsoever. That has happened like every single year, at least once a year, something like that happens. I'll piss off all my subscribers, or a big portion of them, and they'll dump me. Okay, but welcome back. If you're coming back, welcome back. Sorry, I can't help you, to dick. But I have faith. I have faith that no good thing dwelling within, the Romans 7:18, can be changed for the Psalm 45, all glorious within, baby. That's what I'm looking forward to, right? See, because we know, if God is giving that to her, why shouldn't He give it to us, all of us who make it in as His friends? That He doesn't, because if we're all glorious within, then we won't be any cause of wrath to Him, whether we're in His immediate family or somewhere way on some faraway planet or kingdom, and that person does something that's evil because they don't have that all glorious within that he gives to His daughter Jerusalem, right? So He's giving it to all of us. It's great news, friends. It really is. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.